Hello, my name is Jamel Grant. I am the host for today's Can We Talk series, where we are talking to middle school and high school students about a plethora of different issues, adolescence issues, current events, and we get a chance to talk. I am super excited. And we are back here with two awesome students. We get you guys' names.
Zion.
My name is Destiny.
All right, so I am Destiny. It's good to see you. Good to have you guys. And so, pretty much what this does is we get a chance to just talk about different things, adolescent issues. We're going to dive into some different questions, and we are just going to have a good, transparent discussion, and we're going to talk. That's cool with you guys. All
Yes.
right, all right. So let's start with some of your interests. What is it that you like to do? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I like to sing and write music.
Okay.
Also, on the side, I like to do YouTube as well.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Got content. Okay. Social media. All right. Brother Zion.
Sports and like just hanging out with friends and family and stuff.
Cool, cool. All right, cool, cool. All right. And so, everything as far as our education. So, what do we want to be when we grow up?
I would like to be an author or a director, do film, like somewhere in the entertainment industry.
Okay. All right.
Medical or science related.
Nice, nice. Medical science. That's awesome. Okay. So, we're just going to dive right into it. All right. So, when we talk about peer pressure, when you think about peer pressure, so you have a positive side and a negative side. Give me some of your responses to both of them. We'll start with the positive side first, like the positive aspect of peer pressure. How do you respond to that?
Um, I take it in and I do self-reflection to see what I can do to be better as a person and the feedback that someone's giving me. If they're pushing me to be better and trying to motivate me, then I'll try to do that.
Okay. All
Like a form of positive peer pressure is like constructive criticism
right.
in
Okay.
a sense, and it's a you have to take constructive criticism well, or like you're not really going to succeed in anything.
That's good. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's really good. Okay. So, to the flip side, the negative aspect of the peer pressure. Um, I'll give two questions within that. One, have you dealt with that? And two, how did you respond to it?
Yes, I have dealt with peer pressure before. The pressure to fit in and act a certain way, which I didn't really want to, and I had to look in myself and be who I am and not try to fit in because that's really not gonna matter later on in life. So I had to really take a step back and do what I wanted to do.
There you go.
I've like lost friends over not doing something they've wanted me to do, and I've realized like the whole negative side of peer pressure. It's like, so I remember one time we were down at Wrightsville Beach, and you know that big bridge that goes across Wrightsville Beach? They were all saying, "Oh, we're gonna jump off the bridge. We're gonna
Oh,
jump
wow.
off the bridge." And I'm like, "Nah, I don't." Because first of all, I'm scared of heights. So the whole jumping off the bridge thing wasn't me. And then they kind of just got mad at me because I wasn't the only one doing it.
Wow.
And I'm like, it's whatever.
Right. And so just dealing with that and just understanding, it's amazing how you figure out who you are with how you respond to certain things. And so,
Yeah.
like you said, as far as understanding and not fitting in, and you saying, okay, well, like I've lost friends behind making the choice to not respond to something or do something. And so that just really shows you guys' maturity. So that's really awesome, man. Because even as adults, we deal with different things as far as pressure and pressures of life. So that's really cool. And so you mentioned earlier about content creating, doing stuff with YouTube or whatnot, and just being social media. So are you both pretty active as far as social media, different stuff?
Mm.
Just in the sense of just regular. Just,
I post weekly sometimes on my
Mhm.
YouTube channel, but I don't really do Instagram or any of that stuff. I just try to be an inspiration to other people, and yeah.
I got you. Would you say you pretty active?
Mm, I don't really. Only thing I use like social media for is just like news and like just
I got you.
celebrity aspects.
I got you. I got you. Okay. So with that, what are some of the pros and cons of social media? Let's start with the pros first. Let's start with the pros.
Um, it can open you up to business, and it can also be inspiring at sometimes as well.
Hmm.
And new, like, it helps you network with other people and be sociable.
All right.
It's opened a lot of job opportunities for like younger kids,
Okay.
like the whole YouTube, Instagram, like influencers. They're making millions just by posting a video, sponsoring something, or just doing something in the community.
Right.
And
Awesome. All right. So what are some of the cons? What are some of the cons of social media?
Obviously, there's bullying,
Hmm.
and sometimes society and social media tries to make you out to be someone else and basically pressures you into societal norms,
Hmm.
and that's really not good.
Yeah.
just trying to have an image of yourself that just the image of somebody else, and you're trying to live your life through, let's say, okay, we're gonna like use Kylie Jenner as like an example. She has this big platform with like her cosmetic lines
Hmm.
and all this, and there's some people out there that just think they have to have, look a certain way just to please other people.
Got you. Got you. So it's almost like social media. One of the cons, like you said, it can kind of make people feel as though they have to live up to a certain expectation in the lens of social media, like you said, and now somebody else feels like they can do that. Or the thing that I've seen, even in my adult life, is comparison,
Mm.
and that's yeah, and I've seen that a lot. It's bananas. And so speaking of image, with everything that's going on in the world right now and current events and just different things that we've encountered and seen over the years, has there ever been a situation where you feel like you were judged off the base of how you look and dress? Have you encountered anything like that before?
Yes, I have all the time at school,
Hmm.
and people just being rude and disrespectful. Um, and it used to bother me, but now I'm like, I had to really believe in who I was, and
Hmm.
I'm me, so I can't change that.
Gotcha, gotcha. Awesome.
Just with me being like a young black man, I feel like I'm judged every time I walk out the house. So when I go to school, I go to a predominantly white school. So every time I see my fellow classmates, I feel like secretly they're being friendly, but I feel like deep down they just have that sense of they have power over me in a sense.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good. So, with that, and the, how does that? How do you take that mentally? Like, how do you deal with that or assess that mentally, knowing that? What's your day to day thinking when it comes to that? Like, how do you respond to that? How do you carry yourself when it comes to those kind of things?
I see how they react every time I do something, I achieve in something, and I see their body, how they react to it. Like if I see like that look in their eyes, saying that they're not happy for me or they're happy for me, it just depends on the
Got you.
situation.
Got you. Yeah. So that's that's good, man. I'm glad you expounded upon that. So with we talk about current events and different things, and we've seen stuff that's going on in our politics and the political world, um, dealings with the police brutality, different things. As young African American youth, how is it? How when you see these images, what is that initial feeling that you feel when you see these things? Start with you.
Um, my stomach kind of sinks. Um, I feel angry because we've, as blacks, been dealing with this for so long, and it's just like, when is it gonna end? and I feel scared for my dad and my brother. Like, if they go out, are they gonna come home, or they're gonna get, shot by the police, or are they gonna get arrested for racially profiling and stuff?
Gotcha.
Sometimes like when I'm like in a store or just minding my business and I have a hood on my head or I'm wearing a hoodie or something, I look quote unquote suspicious. So I can be in like a food line or something, just getting food, and I get stopped or questioned by a security guard, a police officer, just a citizen that's just the same person as me, just a different skin color.
Wow. And so, as parents, as guardians, as teachers, resource officers, guardians, what can we do to help when it comes to that kind of trauma? When you have to deal with that or deal with what you see, what can we do as parents to be there for you? What can we do um, to help when it comes to that?
Just teach the younger kids about what you can do to stay safe and be safe in those types of situations so things won't escalate. And I think that's really the main structure of what should happen, because we need to know as young kids, because if we don't and we get older, something can happen if we're not prepared, or we just don't know.
I say just sit down with your kid or student and have a well thought out adult conversation with them about how the things in society are happening, what can and what could happen to them if they don't be careful.
Okay, so I got one more question, and then we'll go to our suggestion box. One more question, and then we'll go to our suggestion box. That was a very great point. And even what both of you said, as far as just sitting down and teaching, and because I feel like as parents and guardians, it's very important that we do that, because a lot of times we look at kids or we look at youth and it's like, oh, they'll be okay. They don't really have any problems, that type thing. And I know that's something that's constantly endured. It's not really talked about. It's kind of swept under the rug. So I appreciate you guys expounding on that. Hopefully we can get better at that. In school, and I know now with everything, it's not really in person like it used to be, but with everything that you guys just mentioned, how does that, how would you describe the atmosphere, well, being at a predominantly Caucasian school and being, at your school, like when those things happen, how is the atmosphere around you, and does that make you feel even more heavier, whether it be teachers or peers? Like how do you deal with that atmosphere when all that kind of when the negativity and the different stuff happens?
Well, I go to an all-girls school, but I feel like some of the Caucasian teachers don't really understand how I feel as a black young woman, and they can't really relate to me. So it's hard to go to them about something if I have an issue.
So there's a disconnect.
Yes.
So there's a disconnect.
Like I can't talk to most of my friends about things like goes that goes on within like the black community because they don't understand. So I'll say something about the whole Breonna Taylor, George Floyd thing, and then they'll give their opinion, and I'm like, oh, so that's how you actually feel. So I keep my distance for the most part.
So that's why we have these platforms. And so that's why we have these platforms, so that we can bridge that gap, to be able to have these conversations. And I think it's really important to be able to talk about it. It's not the the most cozy convo about things, but it's the truth, and it's reality, is what we're facing, is what we're currently in. And I think it's important because you guys are the next generation to lead. It's important to hear where you guys are coming from with it, because we have to build you guys up, because y'all gonna be leading soon. So that's awesome. Really appreciate that. So let's get to the suggestion box from the viewers. They got some things they want to say, so you just grab something out, and you grab something out, have you read it out loud.
What is your biggest achievement in school or life, and why? Um, just getting through it.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of pressures and a lot of anxiety that comes with trying to be the best that you can be. So just being able to get through it and say I'm here and I'm doing good and I'm doing okay is a good feeling.
Awesome. Thank you.
Do you consider yourself a positive influence, and if so, how and why? Um,
Thank
I consider myself a positive influence in certain things, like when I'm things I know I'm good at. So when I'm a positive influence with like science in school or like history, I know I can help people with that, but I haven't lived long enough to actually give anything about the life in general.
you. I got you. And so, just where you are now, though, you can say that in those certain cases, are you proud of that
Yeah.
positive influence that you do have, the
Mm.
little bit that you do have?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's all that matters, man. And so we are going to close out. I want to thank you guys so much for your honesty. I thank you for your transparency, just to be able to open up and talk about things. And so, man, this has been awesome. Really appreciate you guys. You guys got any closing remarks, inspirational quotes you want to plug? You know. Um,
Just be yourself and stick to who you are because at the end of the day, those people, what they said and what they did aren't gonna matter when you're 10 years into the future.
Just don't live for anybody else.
awesome. Wise words from two young, wise people. Um, again, thank you so much. This is why we talk, where we have a platform to discuss different things. Be yourself, be you, be positive. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope to see you again soon.